Hello and welcome to Chivalry Deadliest Warrior, which is the new expansion DLC for Chivalry. What's it called again? Oh, Chivalry Medieval Warfare. Yeah, that's the first game. I think I have actually got some footage of it on my YouTube channel. Sorry about the bit of a pause there. I was watching a samurai try and cut my face off, and succeeding. I'm not going to talk about the original game. Check out the footage on my channel or check out the website, which will be in the description below for more information on that. Basically, it was a kind of a first-person hack and slash between two kind of medieval fantasy factions. However, this particular thing that you're feasting your eyes upon is the kind of the love child between the well-known but rubbish, in my opinion, Deadliest Warrior TV show and the game. I have no idea how that happened. Fantastic work for their marketing and PR department of the Torn Banner Studios, because that's the sort of thing I want to get into, and I'd be interested into how that worked out. However, basically the funding, etc., that they've managed to get, Torn Banner Studios basically said, yeah, sure, we'll come up with some crazy ass ideas for a game which is similar to your craziest ideas for the TV show. And while those crazy ass ideas for the TV show, in my opinion, made it for a terrible TV show, lots and lots of people would disagree because it's actually a fairly popular TV show. It does make for a fantastic game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too keen on Chivalry Medieval Warfare, of a mixture of things I'm not gonna get into now. However, this expansion, it's mental. It is really mental and awesome, and you'll see why. I mean, pirates, Vikings, knights, ninjas, what else is there? Spartans, samurai. I mean, all of them in one room, all trying to give each other, new kind of facelifts with various weapons. It's fantastic. It is a hell of a lot of fun, and as you can see here, being a pirate and shooting a samurai in the balls is never going to get old. It's a great game. It really, really is. I have to admit there are some failings, which I'm hoping will be worked out. It's still early days yet. It's in Steam Early Access. However, I just want to get out. You'd think with me and liking games where it's a bit more tactical, a bit more team-based, and this is just a simple, ridiculous arena hacker slasher, you'd think I probably wouldn't like it. But gaming is purely for that, for the enjoyment, and this doesn't take itself seriously. It's purely that. It's just an arena-based game with some mental classes. I mean, it really is. Sticking a pirate up against a samurai or a ninja up against a knight, it's fun. And that premise, it's fun. It works. That being said, I have two issues at the moment which I do want to address. The first one is optimization. Torn Banner Studios, I think, are being quite lazy with their optimization. It's early days for Deadliest Warrior, but Chivalry Medieval Warfare was not optimized enough. I do not have a bad PC, and I've been chatting to a few folks to make sure it's just not my hardware that's doing it. However, Chivalry Medieval Warfare just, unless to get the FPS you needed to be competitive in that game, you could not run it in anything but kind of low or medium settings. You couldn't run it looking good, and it for me so far, Deadliest Warrior doesn't seem to be any different. Now that's not true of everyone, and I'm sure I'll have plenty of people who are disagreeing. However, and indie companies don't have the resources to make kind of huge amounts of optimizations for different hardware setups, but at the same time I do feel like there could be more effort involved, judging from the feedback I've been asking a few folk about. But that being said, once again, early days, this could be improved. It's still in Steam Early Access, and I have no doubt that they do intend to have some more kind of optimization improvements as the game progresses. Now, the second point is actually kind of more important. In Chivalry Medieval Warfare, one of its redeeming features for me was they had a game mode which was basically set up for kind of more team-based gameplay. Kind of, you had objectives. One team was trying to complete a set of objectives, and one team was trying to stop them. That was really fun and could make for some really fun times. Unfortunately, the game is just not made for team play, so therefore it was limiting in that aspect. However, I could see some really cool scenarios being laid out in Deadliest Warrior. For instance, you could have kind of more realistic historical based ones where, for instance, you could get oh, this is just purely one very specific example, but if you had a team of samurais based in a samurai, a kind of a Japanese map, and a team of ninjas, and one of the samurai was designated as a lord, and everyone had one life, and the ninjas won the match if they killed the lord, and the samurai won the match if they killed the ninjas or the time ran out. I mean, putting those rules down makes for a really fun kind of objective-based gameplay. That's just one example. Let's see if I can think of another. Chucking ships in there for pirates to fight along with. I don't know, a naval-based map. Objective being board the other ship and take it out, or I don't know. You know, I don't want to brainstorm and prove how my lack of creativity, but there could be more. At the moment, the only game modes you see are kind of arena-based team deathmatch or battles. And while that's fun, has been proven in kind of Counter-Strike, etc., being that those modes being kind of even repetition, people do enjoy it. I feel that in this day and age, players expect more from their games. Now, you can disagree with me that if you want, but I do expect a bit more, something to keep me there, something to keep me coming back and enjoying it. More so than the joy of shooting a samurai in the face with a flintlock pistol. I do love, by the way, that the fact that these pirates are all modelled very closely on a certain Captain J.S. And you can see that in the game. Oh, that's also ringing a bell of another thing I need to mention. Customization. Now, Chivalry Medieval Warfare had incredibly limited customization. I think it had like a couple of helmets you could change, as well as choosing your weapon. This has a bunch of different weapons and costumes and armors, obviously, because of all the different factions that they've added. So you've got a huge variety of weapons for each faction. I probably should have mentioned it before. I mean, there is a lot out there, so it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's going to take me ages to go through them all. It's kind of, the content is like quintupled, is that a word? Since Chivalry Medieval's Warfare's layout. But on top of that, you have a hell of a lot of kind of uniform colorings and items to add to try and customize your character, and I think they're actually planning to expand that more, so you can kind of choose your bandana or your tricorn hat or your spyglass as a pirate, and there's different things for kind of wearing a mask or different types of helmets as a Spartan. This guy that just killed me there was wearing a kind of the typical Spartan royal helmet, whereas there was kind of a veteran helmet, whereas different ones out there. That's my character customizer there at the moment. I think it's a bit buggy at the moment. I don't think sometimes it works all the time, but that's, early access. I'm not expecting anything kind of final at the moment. That's what you really do have to gain, and I think unfortunately a lot of folks with an overly developed sense of entitlement go onto Steam and early access and go, yeah, this game crashed your desktop, don't buy it. No, it's in alpha. That's what games do. They're in alpha, they're not finished yet. They haven't finished fixing the bugs, they haven't finished the game, so don't expect that. That being said, on release, if it's crashing your desktop, feel free to moan, because games shouldn't be doing it. That's why you have an alpha and a beta. That being said, Torn Banner Studios, well done for this game. Firstly, I am very impressed that you've managed to pull off what could have been a really horrible and bad idea. But this, I have to admit, I'm not a great fan of this type of game, but I have enjoyed playing it, and that's saying a lot. I mean, it's very satisfying when you're shooting people with a flintlock pistol as a pirate, if they're dressed as a knight or they're ninjas. This is an awesome part, by the way. I shooting a guy in the face and his head blowing up with the pistol. But on top of that, I come up here and going, yeah, there's one guy. Oh dear, there's a bunch of ninjas. Come on, pirates. Team up with my pirates, and there's a bunch of ninjas coming up and chucking throwing stars all over the place, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, this does prove. You see that ninja that I just slashed was wearing a mask, but unfortunately, this does prove that the game does lack somewhat of optimization. Look at that lag there, and my friend just manages to decapitate like 4 people in a row. All of those ninjas just get killed by this guy in one swipe, and there we go. Nice kill for him. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.